Hey there YouTube, my name's Tyler, one of the creators behind the Kingdoms trading card game. Today's going to be another gameplay video with some commentary. I'm going to be watching the video with you guys, also talking about some of the cards that are being played and all that jazz. This is going to be a Cludes versus Cludes battle. This was at a tournament that was hosted about 2 months ago, and super excited to see the results of it. Stay tuned for the end of the video so that way I can give you some more information for stuff going on with the Kingdoms trading card game and also a couple other things. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And so as we're watching this video, on the left is Caleb and on the right is Skyler. Both of them are playing with Mriff decks, and they're both predominantly playing a Cludes build. Skyler has just 2 or 3 Furbish spells in his hand. He doesn't really have many Furbish battle cards in his hand. And then Caleb is really running kind of a 50-50. I was really excited about this tournament because what was super cool about it was, in the previous tournaments, I know I've said this in a couple videos prior, is the fact that Furbish, which was at first the only Mriff Kingdom, it never really performed well. You never really saw it get that far in a tournament. And so I was really happy to see in the top, out of the top 4 positions, the top 4 places for the game, a Mriff deck took second and third, which I was really happy to see. So that made me really happy. And this was actually the match that we're watching right now was for the finals, to go into that final round. And so I was really happy to see that. And they both had really good builds for the Cludes Furbish combination. They knew how to work it a little bit better. One thing I personally struggle with is picking good sacreds. I never know what sacreds are good to have. I know some people seem to have a good science down for which ones are going to be getting used, but I'm not too sure. I don't know if I'm going to wear my glasses or not. My eyes have been killing me, and I've been staring at a screen all day doing homework and things for other stuff, so I might not wear them. So anyways, I don't know who's going first yet. They're still setting up their turn. I'm not too sure what Caleb's strategy is. I don't quite remember, but as we saw in last week's video, Skyler's whole goal is to phase 1 travel wagons and then start searching out for all the cards that he needs to get the, so that way once he gets to phase 2, he can do whatever he wants, which he typically opens into a phase 2 Skylight Fountain. So now they're going to roll as Hugh goes first. Caleb's going to roll a 6. Skyler will roll a 3, and Caleb opts to have Skyler go first. So Caleb opens up with a turn 1 library, which is an amazing sacred. There's not enough games yet that have been played to know, is this a card that really should be banned? Because with sacreds, you can't, it's not like with other cards that you can limit it because you only get 1 sacred out of your unique deck out of 5. So not sure if it's something that we're gonna, limit yet, totally ban. But like I said, there's not enough gameplay with it to know. But drawing 10 cards, that's pretty OP, especially if you're only running a 40 card deck, which is kind of typical for right now. That's 25% of your deck. Pretty crazy. And especially too, I know a couple of the Borum players, they'll run it. A couple of the Tannis players run it, and it's good for them. But for Cludes and Furbish, any Mriff Kingdom so far, they have such a great ability to draw cards already that it's, it's really just adding more fuel to the flame when it comes to playing against them. So it looks like everyone's good with their turn. Skyler's going to open up with a turn 1 nanny goat, which is amazing. So now any cards, especially when he does, I believe it's pillage, or whatever card it is, where you have to send cards to the graveyard. In order to, it's pillage. So when you discard 2 cards, that's one thing that Skyler does, is he's always sending cards to the graveyard. So if one of those cards that he has to discard is a token, and he's using Nanny Goat, he can usually just get that Magicka from that token, and just getting those huge bursts of turns that he wants. So Skyler's going to pass turn, Caleb's going to go ahead, he's going to lay down a Master's Table. Being able to draw 10 cards, he has anything he wants to do. He has a Successful Hunt, I see. He has a Pillage, I believe. He's got a counselor, which I'm happy to see. I love that card. He's got a resource manager, so he's got a lot of options. Wow. And he opts to get rid of the Furbish counselor. Furbish counselor, I love that card, but maybe you could argue that resource manager was better because it does pay for itself. So Caleb does play pillage to give him an additional 5 magicka, and he discards 2 cards. So let's see what 2 cards he's going to discard. He's got a secret glass in there, so that he can certainly do something with that. So don't see. Okay, so he ends up sending a resource manager and a Cludes warrior to the graveyard. So I'm a little curious why he did that. You know, the whole hope, the whole goal with ending Rift Kingdom is some of their cards are a little bit more expensive. So I'm a little surprised why he did send some of his magicka generating cards to the graveyard. So Caleb is going to lay down 2 copies of Lost Traveler, and that's going to make Skyler have to discard 2 cards, which that's pretty good. Thankfully, though, he's running copies of multiple cards, so, you know, it's kind of okay to get rid of some cards. He's going to get rid of a pillage and a successful hunt, so he is losing one of his major card draw cards and losing one of his major magicka cards. But, you know, not too bad of an opening turn for Caleb. I think I would want to be in Caleb's position. He's gotten down 2 battle cards, and Lost Traveler has 200 attack. So 400 to Skyler's opening Sacred, that's pretty good. And Tribal Wagons, I forget how much health it has. I can never remember all these new cards. Let's see. Tribal Wagons has 15, so if Caleb was able maybe to get down 1 or 2 more cards, he could possibly kill Skyler's Sacred next turn, which for Skyler, that's horrible. You see Skyler's really having to think about what he wants to do. I mean, he's got the Nanny Goat, so that gives him at least 8 magicka, but he really doesn't have much that he can do. Resource Manager, it's a phase 2, so you can't do anything with that.
The Resource Manager.
So he is going to be using the Tribal Wagon, search for the card. So he's kind of playing off of his knowledge of Rift Kingdoms, which they don't have a lot of firepower. You know, they have to send a lot of cards out to be able to hit the way that they need to hit. So he's going to take his chances, and even though Caleb was able to draw 10 cards, you know, which is pretty crazy, he could if he wanted to. I wonder, because he has a Lawful Knight in his hand. I wonder if he would be able to do that. Lost Traveler before, be 8, be 15. No, so he'd be a little bit short. So close yet so far away. So Skyler lays down a Dwark. Dwark gives you the effect of being able to look at the top card of your deck and deciding if you want to leave it on top or put it on the bottom. And he does clear away the Lost Traveler because Dwark is a 200-300. So 200 attack, Lost Traveler only has 100 health. So quick, easy pick off. And really for Skyler's position, he's better off getting rid of Caleb's battle cards rather than trying to deal damage at the Sacred, because Skyler needs his Sacred to stay alive for at least a couple more turns.
Phase 1.
Quick little mistake right there, but that's all right. Everyone makes those little things. You always forget which phase you're in. Caleb does have a couple good cards. He's got the Garment Maker. He's got Silversmith, so he's going to start doing some stuff with that. Silversmith, if you guys remember it's a set 1 card. He can give a card plus 100 attack or plus 100 health. Garment Maker, it's a Cludes card. Silence 1, so he's obviously going to have to silence the Dwark. And what's really cool, though, is all other Cludes cards would have plus 200 attack and 200 health, but he has no Cludes cards on the field. Caleb does have an Enai in his hand, but you know, he's not going to lay that down right now, especially because he spent all of his magicka.
We'll play 4 for a Tribal Wagon.
Alright, so Skyler is going to do the 4 search again. Again, just getting the cards that he needs. He's already got, I believe, 2 resource managers in his hand, and so he's just going to get that 3rd one.
Battle cards, Sacred, Magicka.
Now, for some of you that are maybe new to the game, or maybe you've watched the game for quite some time and you're a little confused at what you're looking at, a lot of the players kind of set their way, the way that they play up a little bit differently. It's not the biggest deal, as long as you're just courteous enough to, explain to the other person, all right, just so you know, this is how I have everything set up, so that way you're not too confused. As I'm doing this commentary, I have my iPad acting as a second screen, and I got my mic right here. I feel like a little ESPN analyst. It's kind of fun. I am curious. Post in the comments below. Tag us on Facebook. Or on Instagram. Let me know what you guys think. If you kind of like the style, if there's anything that you would change, just let me know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. I have really been enjoying doing this. A lot of the videos that I've been recording lately, I've been recording in the similar style, and makes me definitely want to record more gameplay videos.
We will trade one.
So Skyler decides to trade, getting rid of the garment maker, which is pretty good for Skyler. Skyler needs to eliminate as much firepower as possible, and if Caleb was going to lay down a garment or any other Cludes battle card, that card was just going to be super beefed. Caleb is going to lay down an E9 the Scoutsman, giving his other cards a bonus for an attack. So he's going to deal 600 damage to... Wow, kills the Sacred. Okay, but the thing is, even though Skyler was not able to get as many pulls from that tribal wagons, Skyler has everything he needs. He's got 2 successful hunts, which, because of the amount of card draw that you can get with Cludes and Furbish, Successful Hunt is an incredible spell that draws cards. So he's going to play Resource Manager. Resource Manager, for those of you that don't know, is a broken card because it pays for itself way too easily. That was definitely a mistake in making that card. But, it's okay. It's not like it ruined the tournament because there were people that were able to get over it. And I will say, even though this Cludes deck was playing really well, this deck did not win the overall tournament. So there's still ways around it, but still you want to do your best to get rid of cards that make it not fun. That's the goal of the Kingdoms game, is you want it to be fun. There's still a lot of strategy. There's so much strategy in the game, but you want it to be fun for people. You don't want it to just be, you know what meta is, and you can't beat the meta.
1, 2, 3,
Wow.
4, 5. Good. Yep.
Wow. All right, so Skyler's going to play he's going to play 2 successful hunts right in a row. He's going to draw 5 cards. His hand is huge now. That's so crazy. See, even though he just got to phase 2, he's got everything that he needs. He can do whatever he wants. Such a good card, especially that Resource Manager. So not only does he have the Nanny Goat, but then he's got 2 Resource Managers, each of them giving him 3 Magicka. And look at that. So now he's going to play Pillage. He has to discard 2 cards. So he's going to send a 4 to the graveyard, which he'll be able to use Nanny Goat's effect to just send those cards to the Forgotten to receive that Magicka bonus. I am curious, what is your favorite card sleeve color? I personally like black and white. I think it looks pretty sharp, even though when I play I do use custom cards. I shouldn't say custom, but card sleeves that have the famous artwork, the Scream, on them. Kind of gives a little flavor to the deck. So Skyler is going to play Cludes Warrior. Cludes Warrior, phase 2 card that allows you to silence your opponent's cards. And the number of cards that you're able to silence is how many cards you already have on the field. So he's just going to silence 2. He's going to play Inclination. Inclination, even though it is a Furbish Kingdom spell, it searches out any Mrif spell. So it's kind of the reverse Temple Watch, which is a set 1 card. Temple Watch allows you to search any any Furbish spell from the graveyard, bring it back to your hand. And Inclination just allows you to dig into your fortress to find any Mrif spell that you want to play.
No mag lifestyle.
He's going to play a Nomadic Lifestyle, just another spell to just continue laying down the advantage. Nomadic Lifestyle is a spell that's a little crazy. It says increase your hand size by 2, draw 2 cards. You have -3 Magicka next turn, and then Mrif battle cards cost -1 Magicka this turn. Kind of a lot. I think I said in a previous video, one thing I learned from set 2, that we learned from set 2 and making set 2, was that we were trying to compensate or trying to get a little bit more creative with what cards did. And we kind of almost overcompensated in what we allowed cards to do. Some cards just did way too much. And so in making the subset coming up, which should hopefully be coming out in June, definitely trying to dial it back, but still make cards do stuff where they're fun, they're interesting, where when you finally look at a card, you're really pumped about getting it and putting it in your fortress.
4/2.
So now he's going to play Tribal Meeting. Tribal Meeting just gives battle cards that you have 400 attack if they are 300, 300, or lower. Which for Cludes, and honestly Furbish, that's pretty much what you can expect for most of the battle cards that are cheaper. The way we try to design Rift battle cards is they're either super cheap but they have really good effects and abilities, or they're really good but they're just really expensive.
4, no 2. Of course we will let time scribe. Why would we not?
Wow. Okay, so you didn't see it on the screen, but what Skyler just was able to do by doing Pillage again, or I'm sorry, not Pillage, I forget which card he just did it with, but he had to send cards from the graveyard, or from his fortress to the graveyard. One of those cards he sent was Time Scribe. Perfect card to do that on. So now he'll be able to stop an attack on Caleb's turn. Wow.
And work from
That's crazy. Okay, so... Jeez. Alright, so Skyler just played Community Assembly.
Okay.
So it's going to allow him to take a second turn. He won't be able to attack on his second turn, though. He then plays a Dwark before he enters his attack phase and allows him to look at the top of his fortress to see, do I want to keep that card on top? And he flips up an Ula, so he leaves that on top. So, Skyler now has a decision. What does he do? He's got some massive firepower with those resource managers, which the resource manager, its stats are horrible. So maybe that's one way you can justify that. Maybe it's not too broken. Well, it has 0 attack and 100 health, but with the Tribal Meeting, now it has 400 attack, which is just crazy. Wow. So Skyler is swinging in with 1,400 attack, totally blasting away Caleb's Sacred. That was a pretty good attack, but it is understandable. Skyler's in phase 2, and being in phase 2, he should have the ability and the capabilities to deal damage like that.
-5.
So Caleb does have -5 Magicka per
And I
turn
did 2 of the villages.
because, and he just explained, because Skyler did 2 of the Pillages and of Cludes Warrior, which makes your opponents have -1 Magicka. Caleb is now sitting at -5 Magicka. So basically, the only thing that he is generating Magicka from is the Master's Table for this turn, and also the Sacred that he has revealed, which is called Cattle Farm. In Cattle Farm, it gives you Gift 2. But your opponent has the ability to discard cards at the end of their turn to make it where you don't have that Magicka.
How many? 4? You gotta show me. 4? Okay.
Okay, so Caleb does play a Successful Hunt, which super happy he had that card in his hand because you could definitely say momentum has switched. You know, when Caleb first started, Skyler was definitely, kind of pushed back up against the wall. And now that Skyler's entered phase 2, kind of pushed back the other way. So Caleb really needed that spell to really get some card draw that he needed. So now it's just a matter of what does he do. So he has to discard some cards because his hand size is reduced to 4. That is one of the downsides about Library. So I was just figuring out which cards do you not keep. Man, so he's getting rid of a Snore Day, he got rid of a Light Warden, and he got rid of a Stone Thrower. 3 pretty good hitting cards, but which stinks. Man.
So these 2 will trade with these. Right?
How much are these?
200, 200. That makes it 400, 100. So adds 400, 100, so it should be 2 and 2.
We will Clocky Boy.
Okay.
Michael?
Yep.
Wow, okay. That was big for Skyler. Man, okay, so Caleb was able to, he was going to swing in with Silversmith and Lost Traveler,
10, 11, 12.
and he was going to pop these Resource Managers. Those 2 cards are the best cards that Skyler has on the field right now because they give you Magicka per turn, they make cards cost cheaper, and now that that spell's been attached to them, they're just heavy hitters that do a lot of stuff. And Skyler just time scribed it and keeping those 2 cards alive, giving Skyler 18 Magicka this turn to spend on whatever he wants. He's in phase 2, so he can play super good cards. Just played Inclination. He's going to look for a spell that he wants. If he has a Successful Hunt, definitely could use that. But it doesn't look like he has that because I believe he discarded 1 at the beginning, and then he's already used 2 of them. So he really needs some card draw because unfortunately he has no cards in his hand. So he's kind of just a sitting duck. So he does find a Telling of the Myths, which, again, is a card that he has already played, and he has all the Magicka in the world to do whatever he wants. Telling of the Myths, just again, it is a... so it is a card where it says, send Cludes battle cards to the graveyard, and then your opponent has -X Magicka next turn, which he doesn't have any cards to send to the graveyard, so that doesn't help.
No, you choose to discard negate it.
Oh, that was the other one I'm thinking of. That's 17.
So Skyler does have an Ula out, which that's pretty big. The question is, does he do it right now? If I were him, probably would. Just keep your your resource managers alive. Wow. Now this is something that I think people are failing to understand. Is Ula the Rebel specifically says all other players must send 2 cards that they have called to the field back to the hand. If they do not have 2 cards to send back to their hand, -200 health to their sacred for every card under 2. The thing that's a lot of people,
Or your set, if you wanted to.
the thing that a lot of people failed to do though is they thought that meant that they could choose which 2 cards to send that their opponent would have to put back into their hand. But really at the end of the day, it's such a powerful card that it makes me wonder really how much of a difference has that made. But that was a really good move from Skyler because he needs to keep those resource managers alive because, I mean, he has 2 Summoner's Call, but the thing with his deck, the way this was built is once it ran out of steam, it ran out really fast. But the whole momentum to getting to the point that it needed to get to, and when it was at its climax, really hard to get over. Wow. Skyler has 1900 attack to deal right now if he wants, which would easily blow away Cattle Farm. Only has 1300 health.
So, attack your sacred.
Kills it.
And he's going to kill the Sacred. Wow. So now Caleb's going to go to phase 3. Oh, that really stinks. Okay, so Caleb is going to open up a phase 3 with the Trembledore Tree. Trembledore Tree is a plant sacred. It says, during your end phase, all friendly Furbish battle cards on the field gain +100 attack, and this sacred gains 400 health every time a Marif spell is played. So, could be a really good card. But what really stinks is that, you know, he's only functioning off of 7 Magicka. Because of Cludes Warrior that Skyler has down gives him -1 Magicka. So that makes it really, really difficult.
After during my end.
You don't it doesn't reset until it starts.
That's what I thought too. And then someone else said because.
So what stinks? What stinks is, man. So Caleb has an answer in his hand. He has Washaways. He has Washaways. If he was able to play Washaways, that would be the game. It would have to be, because Skyler has nothing. He doesn't have any card draw abilities, and he would be getting rid of the only resource managers, and Ula. He'd be getting rid of so much, and it would be really forcing Skyler to be top, you know, hoping for a good top deck.
We're doing stuff.
And the thing that stinks with Trembledore Tree is that it only has 900 health. So, unfortunately, a lot of the cards that Caleb has in his hand are battle cards. So it's not like he can dump down a bunch of spells to pump up the Trembledore Tree's health.
More because you sent in my hand. I just started my draw, so I.
Wait, when do you discard cards then?
Yeah, I will.
During the end.
At the end of your turn, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was just making sure.
Send in my turn.
In my head, that didn't calculate. I was like, wait a minute.
Stop.
So right now, I don't really know what Caleb could do. Especially because he only has so much Magicka. So he'll do a Lost Traveler, make him discard Magicka, or discard a card.
So now you're at 3.
Caleb only has 3 Magicka left. I don't know what secret spell it is, but it can't be anything that's good enough to change anything.
Oh, you're right. Why did I think you just laid that down?
How many cards do you have in your hand?
0.
There's really nothing Caleb can do, unfortunately, just because he doesn't have enough Magicka. Even if he would have tried to play the Legend, he still didn't have enough Magicka. So frustrating. What really made it difficult for Caleb was not being able to get another token out. If he was able to get another token out, I think he'd still be in the game. And as a matter of fact, I think he would have had the answer. So Caleb is going to lay down an Enai, trying to give cards some extra attack, could at least get rid of the Ula, but there's still so much firepower that's down on the field. It's going to be really hard for Caleb to get over any of that right now with this current setup. You know, unless, again, I don't know what secret spell he has down. You know, I honestly don't know. It could be a glass, which that's most likely what it is, but even then, glass allows the damage to come through. But it also makes the damage go back to your opponent, you know, so it doesn't stop it. Wow. And Caleb is gonna call it. He's looking through his cards just to make sure he can't do anything. And unfortunately, he's not gonna be able to do anything. That is game. Man, such. Might as well do it. You can go down fighting. He will kill the Ula, but those resource managers have so much firepower, and that's game. Wow. Good game, man.
It only works if you have a good draw. Without a good draw.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching it with me. You know, at these tournaments, because we have so much going on, I'm not able to watch the games that are going on and stuff. And so it was really cool, really fun being able to watch this. I am working on updating the Game Crafter website with all the product and stuff that you guys can get, so make sure to check that out. Also go to the Facebook and the Instagram page and the website just to get updates on what's going on with the game, sneak peeks as to what's being created, and also things to see like rules that are being updated, card images, and also just kind of sneak peeks and also pictures of like past events that have went on. Normally in my videos, I like to do something called Bible Talk, just a really brief thing on Scripture. Just my faith in Jesus is something important to me, and this is just another cool avenue on getting to share that with you guys. At the recording of this video, we're currently dealing with the COVID-19 situation, and so you'd like to think that by the time this video comes out that maybe stuff has gotten better, but who knows? I don't know what's happening at this moment, 3 weeks, 4 weeks out from now at the recording of this video. I encourage you, though, if you do believe in Jesus, make this time a time where, because we're all stuck inside, we're really prohibited as to where we can go. I encourage you guys to really take advantage of it and spending time with God through prayer and in your Bible. Being a youth pastor, that's been one thing that I've been trying to encourage the students to do, is don't make this an opportunity where we're just staring at our screens all the time, which, I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, so slightly hypocritical, but you get what I'm saying. Take advantage of the time that we have and spend time with God. With that, thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do so that way you can keep in touch. And again, please leave a comment, tag us in something so that way I can know like what's going on outside in the Kingdoms community. And you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Thanks.